Hi guys, Iron Cameraman here. Today we've got an important and in-depth breakdown of all the latest updates, so let's jump right into the main thing, the completed puzzle. Once all the pieces are put together, the message we get is no more hiding, clearly referring to the speaker Titan and his armada. You can recognize the Titan by the silhouette in the center, and in the top and bottom right corners there are two speaker men. Between them, there's something that looks like a drone, possibly a new speaker tech. It's harder to identify the characters on the left. In the middle, there's someone with what looks like speakers and an antenna, kind of like an elite TV man. But the silhouette doesn't quite match, especially the head, which looks too small for a TV. Below him, there's probably another speaker man. Behind him, you can see what looks like the handle of a melee weapon, maybe a sword, like the cameramen use. And the character at the top really gives off G-Man vibes, that helmet with those sticking out parts, plus the shoulder-mounted weapon. But it's not a grav gun model. So either it's a uniquely designed speaker man, a new mutant, or maybe even a joint creation between the speaker men and the Skibidis. Hard to say. There's also a second hidden message that shows up when the image is brightened. Invaders shall be executed. That makes it clear the speaker man armada is fully ready and about to strike back at the Astros, who clearly weren't prepared for this. Now let's move on to the spoiler breakdown. Based on the similarities with the Astros, it's not hard to guess that this is the same location we've seen before, but now it's a darker version, covered in destruction and fire, which tells us the Astros are aggressively advancing and nothing seems to be stopping them, which makes it even more interesting that Alliance agents are out there in that hellscape. Let's list them. First, there's Larry. According to the label in the corner, he's a new TV man. At first I thought he was an elite, but then I remembered those same purple blades showed up on TV Woman after her upgrade, so maybe all the TV men got upgraded. Then there's a big cameraman without a name tag, so probably not a new character. And lastly, a big TV man. Judging by how many Astros are in the scene, it's obvious the Alliance group doesn't stand a chance. So, what's the point of this mission? First, I want to point out the cooperation between TV men and cameramen. Earlier, as the TV scientist himself said, they were just sitting back, waiting for the speaker armada. So what made them change their mind? There are probably two reasons. The first, and most likely, is that the Astros took control of their Titan, and now they'll accept any help they can get to bring him back. The second is the alliance with the Skibidis. One of them gave a speech at the cameraman base directly to the TV scientist, clearly stating the only way to defeat the Astros is through unity. And maybe that message finally got through to the TV guys. So, what's the purpose of this mission? Looking at the small team and the presence of TV men, there are two possible objectives. One, reconnaissance. You can't beat the Astros if you don't know where their forces are concentrated. You need to find the weak spot, not rush into a suicidal frontal assault. And if things go south, the TV men can just teleport the whole squad back to base with no losses. The second goal is something we already saw in episode 76, Rescue. The TV men are setting up evacuation points for speakermen and cameramen, teleporting them to safety, because any movement through the air or large gatherings are instantly detected and intercepted by the Astros and wiped out. Let's take a closer look at the spoilers with the agents, starting with Larry. There's some kind of device on his back. Judging by how it's built, it doesn't look like a folded claw or a ring. More like an anti-grav engine similar to what the Astros use. The part sticking out looks a bit like the boosters we've seen on upgraded cameramen, but the position's off. They're too far from the shoulders and they look different. If it's not just a weirdly drawn claw, then this could be a brand new piece of gear made specifically to fight the Astros, and we'll probably see it in action soon. To Larry's right, there's a cake with what looks like 14 candles, although I might be off a bit because of the render quality. It's probably just a random Easter egg, not tied to anything. 14 candles is too many for how long Skibidi Toilet has been around, and too few for Larry's age. Maybe Boom is just poking fun at the fact that we've been waiting 3 months for a new episode. I won't repeat everything from the previous breakdown, but I'll just say this shot is either meant to be a joke or is totally out of context, because what's happening here is just absurd. The second spoiler shows us a big cameraman. Like I mentioned before, the lack of a name suggests he's someone we already know, but judging by the design of his jacket, And the fact that he's not carrying that classic dual laser weapon, this isn't the same big cameraman from episode 76. So it's probably a secondary character, one of many who won't play a major role in the story, which is why he didn't get introduced. There's one interesting detail in the background. Debris is flying around, but there's no visible explosion. So maybe it's rubble falling from a collapsing building. Under the cameraman, there's a piece of debris glowing blue. Doesn't look like a fallen ally. More likely, it's a destroyed piece of equipment, like an energy shield. Altogether, the falling rubble and broken tech suggest this cameraman is in the middle of a battle. That makes sense, since only the Astros are active